Very weak on that one.
And did it affect you at all?
No.
Did seeing your son, did that psych you up more?
Yeah, my baby, where is he?
I don't know where he is now, but he's safe, don't worry.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, Jacques, I love you. This one was for you.
Well done, Pauline. 5 points. And next up on her platform is Katie. Over to John Anderson.
3, 2, 1.
Scorpio has something to prove now. She has to make up for that relatively poor performance. And she told me her favourite music was Bat Out of Hell, and she's going like one now. Going straight for the target. This is better work. Katie goes left, and so does Scorpio. It's like a game of chess up there. And Katie's just run out of moves. Another one bites the dust.
Oh, unlucky, Katie. You said earlier you were a bit nervous about this one.
Never mind. I had a good go. At least I got a few rings.
Well, you came down pretty hard.
I did.
Yeah,
it's tough when you're being hung on to by one of these dogs. I can tell you, I haven't got much chance.
Scorpio?
She had a good grip, and I had something to prove. I didn't do well enough on my first go.
Well, you certainly proved that. Well done, both of you. Well done.
So after 5 events, Katie remains on 7 points, and Pauline stretches her lead to 27.
You're going to be a gladiator when you grow up.
Are you? Don't be shy. Look at the camera. Camera, smile. Come on, smile. Smile, show me them teeth. Show me them teeth.
On to the men's event. And up on his platform is Richard. And there is only one Saracen. Over to John Anderson.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's different. Richard runs across the other side of the platform to try and confuse Saracen. Let's see what happens, because on a natural swing, they should go right past each other. Well, it's worked so far. Look how far away he is. Saracen closing down the area on pure arm strength. Richard misses the ring. He gets it, he'll fly past. Saracen, he misses again. He's going to have to go back, and Saracen is there. He's locking in. He's locked on. And believe me, 17.5 stones of Saracen on his back is a lot heavier than his daughter Carmela. But he's hanging tough. How does he hold on? Oh, he eats Max.
Whoa, Richard, that was a tough one.
Once you start going one way, it's very difficult to change direction. I thought he had him at one stage, but it's just the way it goes, isn't it, really?
Well, to start off with, Richard, you look very natural on the rings, I must admit.
Yeah, well, I am, yeah. Well, I was.
Cheers, Richard.
Well, it's nice to see, win or lose, he's still a super dad to Carmela, his daughter.
And second to go against Saracen is Philip.
3, 2, 1.
Saracen carrying an extra 7 pounds this season to fill out his new costume. He's also got himself a new hairstyle done for him by his girlfriend Chrissy, who he actually met last season as a contender on Gladiators. Oh, he misses a ring. Phil will exploit that mistake, and he moves into the scoring zone. He's got it, 5 points for hanging in there. Now, will he move on? Oh, the exit blocked, but he evades. Can he do it again? He must move on. Saracen looking very dangerous now. Oh, he's exposed. How did he do that?
Phil. Well, Phil, you had him. You had it.
I just lost it right at the end. I thought he was going to go. I thought I had it.
What did he catch? Did he catch your leg? Was it your waist?
I'm not too sure what he caught, actually.
It was his bootlace. All I needed was his bootlace, and I had him. I like him, man.
Well done, both of you. Phil, Saracen, let's hear it for them. Well done.
That's a first on Gladiators, caught by the bootlace. No scores for the guys, 25 to Richard, 26 to Phil. Let's move on to a brand new event, Suspension Bridge.
Thanks, John. And first up on the suspension bridge, it's Pauline. And she's facing Nightshade.
Nightshade's the new girl on the block, and let's take a look at her stats. She comes to us from the world of athletics. She's competed for Britain in the Olympics at Moscow, Los Angeles and Seoul.
3, 2, 1.
All the contender has to do is run from their own platform across the suspension bridge to the other platform. The only trouble is there's a gladiator coming the other way. And new to our gladiator armory, meet the hammerheads. Oh, immediately put to good use by Nightshade in a barrage of blows. You can hit, trip or push your opponent from the bridge. It's rather like Indiana Jones meets the gladiators on suspension bridge. Pauline's got a point to prove here. She wanted to be a gladiator because she feels her overall fitness and strength is superior. At the moment, backing off from the onslaught of Nightshade. Oh, she sticks a wonderful midriff shot in, and Nightshade's down. She must get up. She cannot stay there for more than 10 seconds. Oh, she's down again. She can stay up there for 60 seconds. It's 5 points. She wants to get to the other side. Nightshade defending with her life. Going for a different grip. Going low. Oh, it's worked. She's knocked the hammerhead out of her head and takes her down as well. Only 1 second left. And if we check the replay, Nightshade knocks the hammerhead from Pauline's hands. Pauline, unable to defend herself, forfeits the competition and is knocked down from the bridge for good measure.
I just didn't have enough there. Just didn't have enough there. Next time, Nightshade, you and me.
Oh, looks like a grudge match building up there. If Pauline gets through to the quarterfinals, that's a contest I'd buy a ticket for.
And next up to face Nightshade, it's Katie.
3, 2, 1.
It's hammer time as they run to face off in the middle. Nightshade goes straight to work, one heavy blow, and it's over in 6 seconds. And after 6 events, the final scores in the women's contest, Katie on 7 and Pauline well ahead on 27. Now let's move on to the men's suspension bridge. First up is Richard. And we can see by his home video, both Richard and his family have been taking his training very seriously. He's even built his own pugil stick. Unfortunately for him, unlike those posts he's hitting, gladiators hit back, and none harder than Shadow. And looking at Shadow's stats, 6'4" and 19 stone will be behind those blows. Shadow's unbeaten record in duel has got to make him a favourite in this event, but he told me earlier he's none too happy up there on the bridge. But with Shadow, it's always hammer time. Oh, he's down. Richard, get up. 10 seconds is all you're allowed, but look at Shadow. Oh, helping him down. Eat Max. And there's Richard's coach, his 4-year-old son, Lloyd, probably trying to find out what happened after all that training. Next up is Phil, who should be good at this.
2, 1.
Phil's martial art expert, weapons trained. Well, that ought to be enough to... maybe not.
The martial arts obviously didn't quite come in handy there, or...
Ex-martial arts instructor.
Indoor arena in Birmingham. Well, it's the most exhausting and the most exciting confrontation on TV. It is, of course, the eliminator.
Time now to move on to the eliminator. And we've added a couple of new elements this year, one of which is the balance beam. Contenders must run along this before facing the awesome Travelator. Then grab the rope swing, through the paper burst and into the quarterfinals. Katie looking nervous there, and she should be. Reminding you of the scores, Katie has 7 points, Pauline 27. That's a difference of 20 points, each point being worth half a second. And that gives Pauline a 10-second head start. Well, now she's contemplating the course ahead. And her son Jacques looking tired. Good job he's not running.
Pauline, you will start on my first whistle.